Sports can be a great way of providing exercise to the body as well as the mind. They are also an incredible source of entertainment. While some people pursue sports for recreational purposes, many take it to the professional level. Most of the physical sports have some level of risk involved. Players always have the chances of getting hurt or injured, be it severe injuries or just small ones. But there are some sports that are just extremely perilous, almost to the point where they can be called lethal. Forbes, one of the leading magazines in the world, issues various kinds of lists, and it also listed out the top risky sports. So let us take a look at Forbes' top 10 most dangerous sports. 10. Base jumping. The term base in base jumping, which is also written as BASE jumping, it is actually an acronym for building, antenna, span, and earth, meaning cliff. This highly exciting sport essentially involves parachuting, and individuals hurl themselves from the fixed structures that have been mentioned above. While it sounds very thrilling, the whole process of dashing through the air, with the wind blowing in the face and into the hair, can also prove to be lethal. There are some obvious risks of jumping from hundreds of feet above the ground, but besides these, the chance of getting thrashed by the wind is quite high. In fact, this sport is illegal in some parts of the world, including in the US, except at the organized events like the West Virginia Bridge Day. The highest base jump in the world so far has been recorded to be from the Petronas Twin Towers at 1,381 feet, located in Malaysia. 9. Heli skiing. It is pretty obvious from the very name of the sport that heli skiing involves helicopters. The sport, in fact, is off-trail, downhill snowboarding or skiing, and is accessed by a helicopter. Some people are such passionate patrons of the sport that they even go ahead and book a year in advance, as they find great thrill in leaping onto snow on peaks, away from human inhabitation, and then skiing down, and the advance booking helps in getting the package at discounts. The cost often depends on the number of days too. The outings have a set number of descents. There are several heli ski operations that are US certified. They completely ignore the fact that it is possibility to be stranded by weather changes or get killed by an avalanche. Even the helicopter rides can be dangerous. 8. Scuba diving. Scuba diving has become a well-known name in the world of adventure sports, and many people are probably unaware that the word scuba is actually an acronym for self-contained underwater breathing apparatus, because this is used by the diver to facilitate breathing underwater. It all definitely sounds wonderful and all, but the sport comes with its own dangers. For instance, if the ascent from the dive is too fast, leading to decompression illnesses, including bends, and can even cause lung, spinal cord and brain failure. There is also the risk of getting attacked by stray sharks or other underwater creatures. The Scuba Schools International and the Professional Association of Diving Instructors offer open sea diving certificates training, and insurances are also important. 7. Cave diving. Cave diving is an uncommon adventure sport which involves diving in underwater caves which are at least partially filled with water content. In this sport, the common scuba equipment in specialized configurations are used. Besides these, cave diving also requires the use of wide range of other equipment on the basis of the varied circumstances involved in the sport. Cave diving can involve some life-threatening perils, of which the major risks can be caused by lighting failure and low visibility, which might eventually lead to being separated from the partner. Another hazard is the loss of air, especially because one cannot rise to the surface to catch air, lest he might smash his head. Open sea diving and cavern diving experiences are often needed, along with insurances. Six. Bull riding. Bull riding is a rodeo sport where the rider has to mount a huge bull and tries to stay atop the bull while the beast attempts to butt the rider off its back. This sport is generally a huge favorite with men who consider themselves extremely macho and love to show off their high levels of testosterone, so much that they are prepared to take on any risk for the sake to be able to do so. On being bucked off, the fall off the bull's back can lead to concussions and other severe injuries. There is also the chance of getting trampled by the bull, which may weigh up to 1,800 pounds. However, for the really passionate ones, this sport is an art. From bull riding training schools to boot camps and fantasy camps, options are available for those who are interested in mastering this deadly sport. 5. Big wave surfing. While surfing is a famous adventure sport, big wave surfing is a discipline of surfing where the experts have surfing paddle into or are towed onto huge waves which are of the least height of 20 feet. The most sought-after crowns are to ride the wave of an intimidating height of 100 feet, and this competition, the Billabong Odyssey, puts on offer a prize money of $100,000. Some of the other top events offer huge prize money, like $70,000 for the Towing World Cup in Maui and $65,000 for Quicksilver's Waimea Bay Contes. Some of the greatest hazards of this sport include being pulled into the water by the current, or drowning, or even have the head smashed against the hidden underwater rocks. It is also not impossible to get whacked by the gun, which is the surfing board. 4. Street luge. Street luge is a sport that is a lot like skateboarding, with the only difference being that the rider has to be in a supine position on the sled, which is the luge board, when he is dashing down a paved road or course at a speed that is extremely high. This is an extreme gravity-powered activity, and the fact is that the legality of this sport is still in the shadows. Such is the level peril in this sport that it is an absolute requirement for the participants to put on protective leathers and helmets so that the chances of getting smashed by vehicles that will most likely not notice the riders will not go higher. The chances of the collision on road are also high. Short of that, only the feet work as brakes. One can take classes in this sport on a closed road. Participation may require full medical insurance coverage. 3. Mountain climbing. It is pretty easy to understand from the name that mountain climbing involves the dangerous activity of climbing up and down mountains, which are the highest of natural rocks. The truth about this activity is that each and every element of it is risky. The climber is exposed to a varied range of hazards. The different physical injuries include broken bones, sprained muscles, twisted ankles, torn ligaments, back injury, broken bones, concussion, or frostbite when the climber performs the heavy physical activities or just slips and falls. The weather may change frequently and have lethal effects. One can lose path, and deaths are common. While there are several national parks offering good rock climbing locations, there are also several mountain climbing schools offering different courses. 2. BMX. Bicycle motocross, which is commonly known as BMX, is an extremely thrilling cycle sport. To participate in this sport, one needs to have one of the special kinds of bikes, known commonly as the BMX bikes, and these are ridden by the biker in the sport. These BMX bikes can become quite expensive, especially at a professional level. While bicycle motocross is essentially a racing sport, it has offshoots, and bicycle stunts on vertical ramp and flat land are included in these offshoots. In this sport, the cyclist is required to perform a combination of acrobatics while he is astride the BMX bike. As the bikers strive to perform innovative tricks that are not only fun to watch, but no one else has ever tried, they are often exposed to injuries or even concussions, besides cuts, scrapes and bruises. 1. Whitewater rafting. Whitewater rafting is an outdoor activity full of peril in which an inflatable raft is used as a vehicle for navigating the rough waters of whitewater or other water bodies of rough water. The environment in this sport varies largely, and as a result, new challenges are always there for the participants to face. Since the water is quite wild, the threats that are posed to the participants include getting tossed or being smashed into the rocks. There can be foot entrapment that may entangle the participant in case he falls off, and it becomes difficult to dislodge himself easily. Common injuries are broken bones or twisted knees. There are various levels of difficulties in this sport that a participant can choose to opt for, and based on the location, the costs also vary widely. Sports organizations do not like to bring to the spotlight the many possible risks involved in these sports. That is why it is a little difficult to rank sports on the basis how dangerous they are. However, some organizations, magazines, etc. often take into account the casualties and possible dangers, and Forbes is the leading among them. But, no matter the level of danger, some people have the great passion for these dangerous sports and many more of them. They are drawn to the adrenaline rush and the kick that they get from participating in them. One thing is for sure, and that is, these sports are not for those who are faint at heart. These are the people who love to live on the edge, always. Share your thoughts about dangerous sports in comment box below.